Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Marshall here. Another 1 versus 1 in Age of Empires 4 for you. This time we've got Inzane playing as the Chinese in blue on the north of King of the Hill, where in the middle you've got a lot of high yield gold and stone surrounding a sacred site. And towards the south we have Sim playing as the Red English. Now we're going to have this Tang dynasty sat up here because we've got a Chinese player, which is going to be a little bit irritating, but you'll just have to look past it, I'm afraid. But, as is standard, first Ville produced makes the house. Possibly the second one, actually. No, second Ville produced makes the house. And then on to the gold to rush for that landmark. For Age 2. English, of course, will probably go for Council Hall in order to get the fast long bowman production. Though I must admit, I haven't seen a Chinese game or played Chinese in a while, so you'll have to forgive me not knowing exactly what they will do. But the thing with the Chinese is, if you can build both landmarks for a single age, you get a bonus. Like production time reduced if you manage to build both the Imperial Academy, the nearby buildings generating tax, and the Barbican of the Sun fires a long-range hand cannon and adds arrow slits. Barbican of the Sun is a nice defensive option. Meanwhile, the Imperial Academy can potentially nab you up some gold pretty quickly if you use tax collectors. Tax collectors are an option available to the Chinese, who will go around walking between buildings to come back to your town centre and will give you a sort of slow trickle of gold. But they're only really good once you start getting a lot of buildings. Early on in the game, they're not necessarily particularly worth it. Hence, as we can see here from Inzane, 10 food, 2 gold. Looks like the rally point is on more food. I would have possibly gone for an additional gold there, but there you go. English going now for that council hall. Produces those longbowmen nice and quickly. Although I seem to have lost my my sound. Strange, lost my sound effects. Weird. Oh, that's why. So I was on the wrong view. Oh, thank you for the sub, Buttercack. Ah, 3 months. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, here we go with Sim getting his scout off straight into the Chinese base there. Having a look around, seeing where the TC is, seeing where the potential woodline is, and gone for the Barbican of the Sun for the defense. Putting that near the berries and the gold is an interesting choice because it helps defend those villas in the early stages of their gathering. Food age reached. Though less production being put on the council hall for Sim here. Looking to get more wood by the looks of things. Although need a few more vills on gold, I would imagine. However, notice here we've got 4 vills on stone, and not necessarily rushing super fast for the second age. This means that, assuming he can get 4... Don't lose that scout if you can avoid it. If you can get 400 wood, and I think, is it 300 stone, the moment you get to the feudal age, you can build a TC to get additional vills. That'll help you with your population boom once you get up to that feudal age. Of course, the English also have the network of castles bonus, which I forget exactly what it does. There we go. Triggers an alarm when an enemy approaches, causing nearby units and buildings to fire faster while the alarm is active. So it's a nice little bit of a defensive bonus there for Sim. Whenever Inzane gets a little bit too close for comfort. Inzane, though, let's have a look at what he's going for. Doesn't look like he's saving up for a second Age 2 landmark at this point. Of course, you can always go back to it. When I first was playing in the beta, I thought that I had to build both landmarks at the same time, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do it. But I was wrong. We've got a tax collector now for the Chinese. Gonna get tax from this house. But it also almost looks like they're supervising this this lumber camp actually, so it's producing additional stuff. They don't just collect tax there, they can actually boost your production. And there we go, we've got a second TC for Inzane as well. Must have also done the Fourville stone shenanigans there. 2 TCs off the bat is generally the way that we go. Subsequent TCs I don't think count as landmarks, only the main one. So as far as killing off landmarks for the victory is concerned, it's just the main TC and any landmarks built there afterwards that are going to be the main thing. Longbowmen starting to be produced now for Sim. Additional range, of course, they do count as an archer unit, so they are good against unarmored targets. Scouts count as that, as do things like spearmen, horsemen, and archers. Looks like we've just got an English longbowman rush happening, though. Standard play for the English, it seems to be. Scouts going to come in and help the longbows possibly use their full range. I'm not exactly sure if longbows have that sort of a range, a vision range rather, should I say. Looks like the scout definitely has longer. I don't know whether longbows can fire further than they can see. Oh, alright. Chill out a bit. Sitting in the range of the Barbican of the Sun there, we're going to lose that scout. Got a little too close to comfort. But here come the longbows, going to be firing at the horsemen and scout encroaching upon them. They've got to be careful here, they just got to engage with this. Palings coming up from the longbowmen, which can stun horses for about 2 seconds. It's going to allow the longbowmen to survive this fight, possibly. But more horsemen coming out to support. These longbows are not for this world. Back in the English base, though, do we have more being built? The answer to that question is no. But we've got heavy food and wood production. Of course, the English also get bonuses to their farm production around a mill, immediately adjacent to it. English building their own stables here, 3 of them. Probably going for horsemen of their own to try and just overcome and support their longbowmen. So just going for a mirror match and then using a longbowman to turn the tide. Inzane, of course, won't have seen any of this. That's what Inzane has managed to scout. Inzane just going for the stables. I don't see any other military buildings for Inzane at this point, so no things like spearmen going to be helping against horsemen. Then again, why would Inzane do that? He doesn't even know that the horsemen are starting to be fielded. So how can he adapt to something that hasn't reared its ugly head yet? Now starting to get the gold again for Sim. Possibly going to be looking towards the Castle Age. Got more horsemen moving out. 5 against 4 here. 6 rather. Gonna shout at each other and then carry on their merry ways. Of course, King of the Hill, as I said, you got all this high yield resource and the sacred site in the middle. Also got to actually get up the hill, and sometimes there's fewer avenues to actually get up the hill than at other times. But the English player here, Sim, walling in. Inzane, however, not necessarily doing the same at this point. Gonna go back and defend his base. There we go. Wall starting for Inzane as well. Can Inzane kill off a couple of vills here? Aided by a wolf. That villager exited stage left, pursued by wolf. No way did Inzane just do that. He locked out his own horseman. No way! That is very, very unfortunate. Yes, it locks in Sim's horseman, but it locks out his own, who now have to go the long way around to get in. Can't even go around the back of that tree line. Horseman seeing where the woodline vills are. Missed an opportunity there, perhaps. But they're just being a complete and utter nuisance. Time off production here for Inzane. As the vills go away from the woodline, but into the TC, showering arrows down on the horsemen, who now look very worse for wear there. Very low HP. They're just going to come straight back past the Barbican of the Sun, which, if it attacks the right horseman, it'll kill them each in one. But first, we've got Vill raids again, more gold and tax collectors in peril. Horsemen finally catching up for Inzane, though. We're going for an archery range there. Interesting choice. Can we get some barracks? 4 archery ranges. Possibly for... Well, the Zhengzhou doesn't come out until... He's got some dynasties. So he needs those additional landmarks, and doesn't look like he's really able to do that at this point. On the opposite side, though, we've got horsemen coming back in against the wooden walls. Are we going to have the ability research from the blacksmith siege engineering, where infantry can produce siege towers and battering rams? That would help against the walls there. Got some horsemen doing some raiding from Inzane against Sim here as well. Sim, though, only walled in on one side, including a gate, but still only on one side. Inzane on both. But these horsemen are locked inside, but now we've got some archers coming into the fray. They do reasonable damage against the horsemen, but the thing is, the horsemen will just win out on this fight until you get enough archers, and that's why building 4 archery ranges was so important. Inzane there now no longer has the food to keep producing these archers, but look at those horsemen. Falling by the wayside as more vills are firing on them now from within the TC, but doing a lot of disruption to the wood production here. We've got 1,700 gold unspent for Inzane, possibly because of the tax collection and supervision. If he trades some of that gold in for food, he could potentially get up into the Song dynasty, which unlocks the Zhengzhou crossbowmen. And again, that being said, the Zhengzhou is great against lightly armoured targets. I'm surprised, because it looks like a crossbowman, and typically crossbowmen are better against armoured targets, but the Zhengzhou apparently is ineffective against them. So, curious. Inzane now, though, managing to finally really start defending against Sim, who has transitioned into horseman and now has to back away. Has he transitioned back into longbowman is my question. Doesn't look like it. Just continually building horsemen as much as possible. I have to back away here a little bit because these archers are just being a nuisance. Although I think the critical mass has just been reached. And now the archers are going to get surrounded if they don't start retreating. They've got to start retreating. Yeah, there we go. Wrong way, mate. Don't think this is going to be the best trade for you. Although the shoot and kite, It's just too many horsemen now from Sim coming in. The wall is complete again, so I think these archers are probably done for unless he wants to bring the horsemen back in again. All that shouting is the cavalry charge. Do a little bit of extra damage when they hit. Got a blacksmith. Ooh, hello. Just got one coming up now, which will possibly help out with those archers and his own horsemen. But really, he needs to get the bonuses for his horsemen. Can't afford it, he just doesn't have the food right now. Meanwhile, Sim, though, going for arrow defense. Which is why his horsemen are surviving so well against the archers at this stage. Because they do have that upgrade. The walls there, though, providing a nice defense. These palisade walls are really quite strong against the early raids. Come in on the other side and find, oh, there's another palisade wall here. I cannot get in. So you can either just keep whittling down the walls, or perhaps use this as a respite to transition into either the next age, well, either or really, next age, and then potential siege and or rams. But looking at Sim's economy, he got 800 food, 900 food, and 400 gold. He's almost there. Needs just another little bit. Food, it's 120, 200, and then 600 gold. So he's almost there. Here we go. The question is, which landmark will he go up with? I think it's either a keep or a TC. I forget exactly what the age 3 options are for the English, but the horsemen got in through the walls. Quick walling didn't quite work towards the Barbican of the Sun there. Unfortunately, horsemen trying to break down the TC. The TCs actually have a lot of HP. You'd be surprised. But all of this is just stopping the the food production rather for Inzane. Inzane's food has dried up almost completely. Where is he actually gathering it from at this point? I'm not sure. Is he getting it from Hunt? Sim up to the castle age with King's Palace. Acts as a TC. That'll produce additional villagers for the woodlines out there. Potentially the stone as well. Looks like Sim is going all in on cavalry in this instance. So many stables being produced. Starting to transition back into longbowmen. That'll help him deal with the archers. Let's have a quick look at his blacksmith here. Hasn't researched any of that yet. Either the arrow or the melee attack or defense, but the Barbican whittled down here. Just so many horsemen that can't die quick enough to these archers because they have the arrow defense from the feudal age. The longbowman being a right nuisance. The Barbican, though, the only defensive structure really other than the TC, completely surrounded, on fire. Getting desperately repaired by Vils there, sacrificing Vils to to keep the Barbican alive. We've got loads of archers in there, just firing down. On all sorts of craziness, but we've got veteran horsemen now for Sim. I think the move for archers did not work out very well for Inzane here. I can't really see a way that he can come back. Sim is just completely untouched in his base, starting to move towards the high yield stuff in the middle as well. Loads and loads of farms. And loads of vills on wood with barely anything on gold. The Barbican of the Sun now down. One landmark remains for the victory. We've got a lot of archers now who can, in theory, I think two-shot the horsemen. The problem is the villager count, really. 82 pop count with most of the villagers over here and the farms on the second TC and the woodline over there. But all Sim needs to do is see that, and the horsemen are going to go all over it. And really, what Inzane should have gone for are barracks and produced spearmen here, in all honesty. I think the reason why he didn't is because of the fear of a retransition to longbowmen. Of course, longbows and archers do bonus damage against infantry. Lightly armoured infantry, that is. And so spearmen would be a prime target for them. Thing is, the Chinese really start to come into their own when they get the gunpowder techs of the Castle Age. Don't let them do it. And they don't get there. It's not going to be a lot happening. For the Chinese player here, in all honesty. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find a way of getting down into dynamic camera mode. I don't think such a thing exists for this game, unfortunately. So the horsemen have been forced out for the time being, but the thing is, more just come in from this side. And Sim just has a constant stream. Look at this. Constant stream. Each of these are now starting to go to knights as well. That transition will possibly seal the GG, as those archers will be ineffective against them. Because if we go to Sim now, we'll notice that he's transitioned over to gold. He had 16 vills on gold, and not only gold, but the high yield ones as well. He's already researched the additional gold gathering from his mines. So he's getting that very, very quickly indeed, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin. And even building forward siege workshops and forward stables. And here come the battering rams, which will be perfect against the archers, honestly. And the Berkshire Palace. This is disgusting. Brilliant play, but disgusting. A forward keep landmark for the English. This doubles as like a keep or a castle, if you will. And that being on the only way safe, well, the only other way out of Inzane's base here is via that. And the Berkshire Palace starts standing again and then will be quickly knocked down. 20 archers garrisoned in that TC. Thing is, where are we going to get the knights rolling in? Possibly in the not too distant. Here we go, we're starting to see them now. With their long lances. Got a few mixed in already, and of course Inzane still hasn't got to the castle age, still in the feudal age, just hasn't been able to get anywhere. And the problem for him now, after this, is going to be a drying up resource. He's had to wall in to defend himself. The only additional resources now are out of the base into the danger zone. And he still hasn't secured his base, so how on earth is he going to secure areas outside of it? Sim now, Imperial Age. The snowball has turned into an avalanche, really. Look at this. Archers firing on those knights. Barely a scratch for so many archers. You'd expect that to, like, down a horse in one, right? The knights can shrug off a good few volleys. In we come again. Absolutely nasty stuff. And wherever the archers go, they popped out of that TC. I'm not entirely sure why, but in comes the battering ram. There is the surrender. They see the battering ram, and as much as Inzane tried to hold on, just could not claw it back, honestly. And such is the game. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching. You very much enjoyed it. Don't forget to drop any comments or feedback. Let me know what you thought. Of course, likes and dislikes and all that engagement stuff really helps me out. Well, until next time, though, I've been Marshall. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.